Welcome to Grazing Hell, the one and only podcast made by a cow. And today I am presenting you with the first episode presented by only yours truly for the first time since the first episode, in fact. I have had a guest, I think every episode since episode 2, which is bonkers and lovely that everyone has said yes so far. So that's pretty good, isn't it? But today I just wanted to have a little solo one, wind down, take a little break. Yeah, just because it's been a while and I kind of fancied a more sort of chit-chatty episode. So yeah, that's it really. Today is Monday. In fact, I'm actually recording this very last minute because I wanted to talk about Halloween, but I didn't want it to be coming out way after Halloween. So I thought, if it comes out just after, hopefully I won't need to edit this too much. We'll see. But yeah, so today is Monday. The weekend that just passed was Halloween, and unlike last year, I actually did something for Halloween, which was very nice. I went to my friend's party. She just moved to a new flat, and that was nice. So got to see the new flat, got to see a bunch of people I hadn't seen in ages. Oh, excuse me, sorry. Yeah, and I dressed as a vampire. And the reason I dressed as a vampire is because I wanted to match Siggy, because Siggy, my sweet little pup, was dressed as a bat. It was the cutest thing ever. How do I describe how cute she is? I don't think I can really put it into words. So for those watching, I'll put up a little picture of her in her costume. For those listening, just imagine a sweet little bat dog. Yeah, just imagine that. And then, that'll hopefully be accurate. So yeah, it was a really fun night. And yesterday, I have lived I say it's a new place. I moved into this place over a year ago, but obviously we didn't have trick-or-treaters last year because we were in the middle of a lockdown. So this is the first Halloween not in a lockdown since the Panasonic. And I was like, okay, well, the children have had a tough year. So I thought I'd, join in on the festivities and put out some sweets. And yeah, it wasn't very successful, I've got to say. I did get a pumpkin to put, oh, sorry everybody, I'm just a yawny gal, to put on my fence, right? But I think the problem is I didn't put a candle in it, a tea light. I just put like this tiny little pumpkin on my fence, and there's this like big bush outside my flat, so, they probably couldn't even see the pumpkin. It's probably just smothered by leaves. So it wasn't very successful. I also left the sweets outside because my doorbell is horrendous. I don't know how to describe it. It's like, it sounds like rattling, but very loud and very sudden. And every time it goes, I jump and Siggy gets upset. So I was hoping that if I left... Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. If I left some sweets outside, the children would just take them. But I didn't even hear the gate. Because you can hear when the gate is open because it makes this creaking noise. And I just don't think there were any. Because I had a friend round last night, and when he left, I told him to take a bunch of sweets. Which he did. So the bowl was emptier at the end of the night, but I don't know if that was just him or the children. And this is me, trying to reach out to the child community, to make friends so I can be on good terms with the child community. And it flopped. Didn't even work. So, and now I'm left with a bunch of chocolate, and I don't eat chocolate because I'm vegan. So, but can't give it to my dog because dogs can't have chocolate. So, yeah, not the most successful. Never mind. But yeah, on actual Halloween night, I didn't do very much. I just, oh, you know what I did? And in fact, I'm going to talk about that now. So I'm going to talk about You, the TV show, the Netflix show. And I'm not talking about season 3. I haven't seen season 3 yet because basically I started watching season 2 like over a year ago whenever it first came out. And I wasn't like, I watched the first episode and I was like, eh. And then I gave it another go recently. And then I was really into it. And then I think like the second season took a couple of episodes. It wasn't like the first season where you're instantly hooked, at least in my opinion. So I'm now going to talk about the show. So if you haven't seen it and you don't want to get spoilers for season 2, I'm not going to talk about season 3 because I haven't seen it. Season 1 and 2, skip to this timestamp.
12 minutes, 16 seconds.
Okay, so I finished season 2 of You. And first thing I want to address is some people in the comments have told me that I look like Penn Badgley, which I think is hilarious. But also, it's a compliment. He's a very handsome, pretty man. And I kind of see it, not that I'm saying that I think I'm a really handsome, pretty man, but what I'm saying is that we both have like a gap tooth, we have dark hair, we kind of have similar-ish like faces, not that similar, but like we look like we could be related, like cousins, I think. So yeah, that's fun. Secondly, so basically what I'm talking about today is the spookiest monster of them all. Insecure dudes. Okay, I know You isn't real and I'm not trying to make light of murdery stalkers, but Joe, one of the things that's so great about this show is that Joe is such like a nice guy and a pick-me boy and just all the worst kinds of guy. You know what I mean? He's just, oh, the narration is so spot on and oh, he's just so gross. And I can't remember what it was specifically, but I was watching something the other night and he said something like really degrading about sex workers. And I was like, of course Joe would say something degrading about sex workers. Of course he would. And I loved the ending of season 2. I unfortunately had it spoiled for me, so I think that's one of the reasons I'd put it off for so long. Because I was just like, oh, I already know what happens. But actually the build up to it was really good and I'm glad I watched it. And I think one of my favourite bits was when Love was like to Joe, oh, you know, I'm not this little sweet innocent thing that you've projected onto me. I'm not like what you imagined me to be. And I think that's like a really good subversion of like the manic pixie kind of trope, because he really what he loved about her was like how innocent she was and how she didn't know anything about his murdery ways. But now that it turns out she's the same, he's like, oh, I don't know if I find that very attractive. It's like, Joe, you're literally a serial killer, so you don't really have a leg to stand on. But it is such like an entitled dude thing. You know what I mean? You know, when you just, I don't know, I just feel like that it feels kind of real. Do you know what I'm saying? I know it's a show about a guy who stalks and murders people and like that doesn't happen. I was going to say that doesn't happen every day, but it kind of does. I don't know. I just think he's very well written. And obviously there's like people talk about, and I actually don't think this is a great criticism. When people talk about, okay, so if you have someone who's like a serial killer and you cast someone good looking as them, you're kind of romanticizing them. And I think what I would say to that is, you could say that when it comes to like teen shows and younger audiences, but I actually personally think that it is kind of, one, everyone in Hollywood is good looking, so good luck with that. And two, I think that the problem with that criticism is that you're implying that the I mean, some of the audience won't be, in fairness, but that's why I was talking about this with Broy recently, Broy Dejanel, that media literacy is so important. And if you watch a show about a serial killer and it's played by a good-looking, charming actor, it's important to like have that media literacy and that sort of like critical eye to be able to distinguish and understand the fact that, okay, this person is really charming, but they're also a serial killer. I don't know. I just feel like that argument kind of insults the audience's intelligence a bit. I understand, like, for example, with the Ted Bundy film, they cast Zac Efron, and people were like, why are you casting Zac Efron? He's really hot. Ted Bundy wasn't, which I thought was kind of funny, especially because, like, there's this trend. I think it started on Tumblr, it resurfaced on fucking TikTok. Of course, it resurfaced on TikTok, where people were thirsting for Ted Bundy, and it's like, he's not hot. And I feel like Shania said this in one of her videos. She was like, what is wrong with you all? He's not good looking. He's just some like skinny, murdery white guy. But yeah. So yeah, You was really good. I'm excited to watch season 3. Yeah, I think, you know, pacing can be is a little bit off sometimes with it. That being said, I know it's more of a psychological thriller, so I don't know. And I just think it's really cool to see Penn Badgley in a role that really shows his acting chops, just because Gossip Girl, fucking hell, like, obviously season 1, season 2, I've talked about this in my Gossip Girl video, I think is good. But obviously, because the writing gets so bad, I don't know. I just feel like the show really lets him show his acting abilities, and yeah, he's fantastic in it. So yeah, I would recommend it. If you haven't given it a go and you're a bit like, oh, is it worth the hype? I can't say for sure that it is, because I think it is a bit more of a slow burn, but I definitely think it's worth giving it a go. So give it a go. And I think that's all I'll say on You. But moving on to Insecure Dudes. Oh dear. They're pretty scary, right? They're pretty spooky. Much spookier than vampires or zombies or what's another one? Werewolves, you know? I've got to say, Insecure Dudes, scariest of them all. Am I right? Or am I right? And the reason I wanted to talk about them today is because I feel like it's a little bit late to go into something too Halloween-y. So I thought I'd talk about something that scares us every day. Okay, I'll stop now. But I wanted to, like in the first episode, bring up some cursed things I found on the cursed hellhole, that is twitter.com. And much like Reddit and the internet in general, Twitter is a great place to find insecure dudes being insecure dudes. And I keep seeing this trend and I love it. I feel like Jordan introduced me to this when the first time she was on my podcast. She was like, I love going into a smoking area of a club and saying that I've never heard of the Godfather, or that I think The Godfather's not a very good film. I can't remember which one it is, and just leaving and seeing all the men like seething. There's another one like that where someone tweeted yesterday like, oh, I like to, when a guy brings up Reddit, to say, what's Reddit? I've never heard of it. Oh, it's brilliant. So the first thing I want to talk about I found is someone resurfaced, and this is actually like a 2 years this was 2 years ago, but someone resurfaced this incident. I guess I wouldn't say an incident, but you know what I mean. So a YouTuber called Jenny Nicholson, who's like a cultural commentary, media commentary YouTuber. Okay, full disclosure, I've never seen her videos, and that's not because I don't want to watch them. I do. She hasn't talked about anything that I've seen. And I like to watch videos about films and stuff I've seen. So I apologies for that, fans. I'm sure she's fab. Just haven't got round to it. You know, when there's just so many people to watch and you're like, oh God, I need to watch them. I'm sure they're great, but just haven't. You know how it is. But yeah, so Jenny Nicholson posted a review of Joker. So the title was, well, I didn't like Joker. And it was 33 minutes. And I'm presuming, I haven't seen the video, apologies, I haven't seen Joker either, that she talks about why she doesn't like Joker, which is what you do when you're a media critic. So there's this stream by a YouTube channel called Mooler, and he's got like 3 guests on. And the title of it is EFAP, Every Frame a Pause. And it's got the thumbnail is her face, and the title is Responding to Jenny Nicholson's Well, I Didn't Like Joker. And let me just tell you what the runtime for this stream was. 11 hours, 44 minutes, and 8 seconds. Incredible stuff. Absolutely incredible. I just incredible. I mean, yeah. So obviously this is just hilarious in itself, but there were some really funny responses, and basically someone the other night posted these 2 screen caps next to one another, being like, oh, remembering this, because just like nice to have a little walk down memory lane. And someone whom I don't know if they were on the stream or they're just a fan, but they have like a similar thumbnail picture, which is like some kind of mask and like, I don't know, that's the way I describe it. His name is Lord of Death. And he responds saying, enjoy your clout. I do hope you know that only a small portion of this video was them responding to her. Also, yes, it's 11 hours. Streams often go on for that long on Twitch and no one ever comments on it. Get over yourselves. So that's got 269 likes. And someone called Krabby Patty responds, I'm sorry, but Lord of Death. Darkness Lord 781. I enjoy understanding history, philosophy, and psychology. How old are you? LMAO. 2,964 likes. So yeah, his username, his like name on Twitter is Lord of Death, and his username is Darkness Lord 781. And I just love that this person was like, I enjoy understanding history, philosophy, and psychology. And then someone else was like, history meaning World War II only, psychology meaning Jordan Peterson only, philosophy meaning Joe Rogan only. Oh my, oh, so good. And just the responses on this are just so chef's kiss. Like, people are really upset by this person just pointing out something that is just inherently absurd, right? Like, okay, so this person said, but it was only a third of the total time. The other 7 hours involved bunny trails, super chats, etc. As for the response, Jenny had terrible arguments, at one point suggesting the message of the movie was not to take your medicine. Okay. I just find it funny that the argument is, oh, well, it was only like, and a few said this, like, oh, it was only like 3 hours. And it's like, okay, she posted a 33-minute video. Responding to it for 3 hours is quite excessive. So even if it is only 3 of those 11 hours, that's still quite funny. And also, it's like, sir, you made the thumbnail her face and the title responding to Jenny Nicholson. So that implies that it's the main subject of the video, right? So if you're trying to imply that you're not, like, you know, a bit obsessed, then don't think you're really helping your point there. And so someone was like, oh, well, they use Jenny to clickbait. And then someone else responds, They do that with all their streams. I think one stream went on for 30 plus hours. It's only clickbait if you don't know what to expect from the channel. And if you stick around after the discussion about her video, I love that. I'm just going to say that. I'm just going to like, I'm just going to make a video that's like, I adopted a child from China, for example. And then you click on the video and it's like, I actually didn't adopt a child, I adopted a dog from Guatemala. And then I'm like, well, you know, it's only clickbait if you didn't know what to expect from me. I don't want children now and I like dogs. So, yeah, I don't know, it's just a bad argument. Yeah, so... it's just so funny. Oh God. And then there was another one where when she found out about this stream, so this was like 2 years ago when this was all happening, she made a tweet, Jenny Nicholson made a tweet saying, some guy made an 11-hour response to my Joker video. Oh my God. Someone responds, holy shit, someone said something I don't agree with, so it must be about the video I made. Okay. Her response, I thought it might be a response video to me because they put my face in the thumbnail and titled it Response to Jenny Nicholson. Oh God, it's just, yeah, I imagine, and I mean, I don't know. That's a lot of hours to spend responding to someone, and I just find it so funny that it's the Joker, because the Joker has kind of become like the mascot for insecure dudes. I'm not saying if you genuinely liked the film Joker that you're automatically insecure and like an incel or whatever. I'm not saying that. I haven't seen it. I don't know. It might be fantastic. But there's a lot of Joker memes or like Joker imagines. So imagine your POV, shit like that, right? And it just seems to have become kind of synonymous with, I guess, yeah, people who are sort of on the way to becoming incels. And also, it's kind of like how that's the thing, Joker might very well be a good film, but the fandom has ruined it, a bit like Rick and Morty. How, you know, Rick and Morty, fun show, but the fans kind of ruined it because the fans were just so toxic. So, yeah, I suspect it might be that kind of situation. Oh well. But yes, very funny. And here's the thing. I'm not saying that those guys don't have a right to respond to her. If someone makes a piece of media criticism and you don't agree with it, it's within your rights to respond to it. I just think the comedy is that it's just so long and just so... I mean, yeah, I don't need to explain the joke to you. It's just inherently funny, okay? Okay? There's no need to get so defensive about it. Lord of Darkness or Death or whatever your username was. So yeah, that's one instance I saw of people just getting very butthurt over something that is just... I mean, this is twitter.com. What else do I expect from that godforsaken website? That being said, I have been getting into it a bit more lately. I do like to every now and then, maybe like once or twice a week, make a little tweet, a little tweety. But the next Twitter account I'm going to talk about is, and before I say what it is, I'm going to just preface it with another Twitter account that I believe it's based on. So there's this account called Women Posting Their W's Online. So women posting their wins. And it's like just a very wholesome page where they repost women doing well in life. You know, nice things happening to them. Like recently, Trin Lovell, who's a YouTuber, posted that she'd met her boyfriend, like she'd been with her boyfriend for a year, long distance, but she'd finally met him. And they like posted that, for instance. You know, like wholesome stuff. It's just like, oh, you know, women doing well. So this page is called Women Posting Their L's Online. And yeah, so here's the description. Account dedicated to women posting their L's online. DMs open for submissions. Do not harass anyone posted. You will be blocked. Booba Hub, run by MK Ultra Money. So it's got 218.5k followers. And the person who runs it is called James. So that's MK Ultra Money. His his bio says this: filmmaker, host of MK Ultra Money podcast, Pokemon TGC crackhead, MK Ultra victim, Booba Hub, plan truster, FTM truther? What is that? And he's got like quite like a matrixy avatar. And a lot of this page is not just dedicated to women's L's. A lot of it is him retweeting himself, which I think is interesting, because I think if you're going to make a community page or like a page that's dedicated to a specific niche, but to use it to retweet your own account, I know, I just think that's a bit lame. I'm just saying. Okay, so they posted this, for example. This is a tweet from someone called Dr. Jennifer Cassidy. She wrote, "Everyone my age having children, buying houses and getting married. And I'm just over here crying with happiness that I got to hear Hillary Clinton say human rights are women's rights and women's rights are human rights in person." So that's an L, apparently. I mean, I understand that the tone of the original tweet is like a little bit self-deprecating. It's like, oh, everyone's doing this, and I'm just happy to hear Hillary Clinton's voice, which is, you know, pretty cringe lib, not gonna lie. But I don't know, it just seems like a weird, like, it's not that funny. It's just, I don't know. Okay, this one, in fairness, I will give it to them. This women's L was an L. So it's a tweet from Hillary Clinton. "Happy birthday to this future president," and it's a photo of little Hillary Clinton as a child. And they reposted it, saying happy anniversary to maybe the biggest L a woman has ever took. Which, okay, I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one. Yeah, she did take an L. She really thought she was going to win, and she lost to Donald Trump. And I guess I feel like that captures the Democrats perfectly, that they put forward a candidate so unelectable that they lost to Donald Trump. Should have been Bernie. Just saying. Anyway, that's years ago. That's old news. You know, fart is gone now. We've got Biden, who is, you know, there. Okay, so let's look at another one. This is a still from a TikTok, and the caption is, "Today I successfully convinced my gynecologist to remove my tubes at 21 with no kids." And this went quite viral. Yeah, so interesting that they're framing this as an L. And funnily enough, a lot of the comments were quite, some of the comments were fair, and some of them were like, oh, that 21's quite young, you know, you might think you don't want kids at 21 and you might change your mind, so that's quite, you know, rash and maybe not the best call on the doctor's part. And I think that's a fair argument. But then there were others being like, oh, she got, you know, her tubes tied so she could have sex with whoever she wants. And it's like, I mean, if that's the reason, then that's valid. I think, you know, if you don't want to get pregnant, you got to do what you got to do to not get pregnant, right? But secondly, it's like, you don't actually know that's the reason. There are sometimes medical reasons people want to get this done. Not that she needs a medical reason. It is ultimately her body. So whatever her reason is, it's a valid reason because it's her body. But there are other reasons. In fact, I used to work with someone who had endometriosis. I can't say it. It's similar to PCOS. I'm not an expert, but it's a similar kind of thing. Incredibly painful, very debilitating. Yeah, they had a really tough time with it. And I remember them saying that I'm in so much pain. If I didn't definitely want children, I would absolutely get, everything removed or done. I'm sorry, I can't remember which reproductive organs it affects, but it just makes periods and that whole region very painful. And they were in excruciating pain all the time, but they wanted children, so they were like, I'm not gonna get it done because, So that was very sad. So yeah. So next they post a Daily Mail article with a picture of a woman, and then next to her is a picture of her with a man, and the man's face is blurred out. And the title is, oh my god, also I forgot to mention, Daily Mail has this editorial or section on the website which is female, so it's like FE and mail, like Daily Mail, and it's just yoy, oh gosh, shivers. Anyway, I left the love of my life because I thought I could do better. Now I'm childless and alone at 42. And you will notice an ongoing theme with this page. That the biggest L a woman can take is being childless and unmarried. Absolutely the biggest L. She could be a fucking astronaut. She could be running her own business, have loads of friends, some really cute dogs, her own apartment, she could be doing all those things. But if she's childless and unmarried, whew, that is the biggest L. Am I right? Am I right, fellas? Okay, here's another one they posted. At least they protect their identities, in fairness. They you know what I'm saying? They get rid of the faces. Or maybe the person who submitted it did. I don't know. By the way, I'm just glad that they protected the person's identity. That's something. So, this is someone whom I believe is a sex worker, and they're going to shame sex workers, so that's fun. So this person said, crying right now because this guy on here messaged me saying he bought everything off my Amazon wishlist. He cleared it and then started asking for photos in return, so I sent a couple but waited to see if I would receive anything. I never did. Not surprised. Dude then asks for more content and I tell him no, not until I receive at least one of the gifts. He then calls me an idiot and a waste of time and blocks me. Why do men do this to us? Why? You couldn't have went to my not safe for work Twitter and seen the same pics for free. Now did us have to go and add everything back as well, just to be disappointed in humanity for even getting my hopes up that someone could actually be nice and just want to surprise instead of scam me. So again, they post this as an L. Okay. I have so many thoughts on this, posting this as an L, and why that is fucked up. So this person has an Amazon wish list. It's a public wish list, and the intentions of that, a lot of creators do it, a lot of YouTubers do it, and the idea is that if you are someone who wants to get a creator a gift, something they need for the channel, like it goes towards their work, or it can go towards their personal life, not necessarily their work, you can get them that. They have a wish list for that, right? So this is great if you are someone who wants to get a creator a gift or give them money, but you don't, want to commit to Patreon or, that kind of thing, because posting like not safe for work images on Twitter, that is free content. Posting to YouTube, that is free content. And whilst creators, we know that no one owes us anything, right? Like you watching my videos is great enough for me. That's, that helps my income. So in a way, you're already paying me with views, right? So it's not saying that it's expected, but if someone does want to buy something off an Amazon wish list, send you a donation on, there's this thing called like Buy Me a Coffee or something, stuff like that. It can be done. And the idea of that is that it's a gift, right? You're not expecting anything in return necessarily. Some people might put that on their Amazon wish list, like if you order something, I will do X, but most of the time it's like a donation thing, right? It's not like Patreon where you get benefits. It's literally just a donation to a creator you like. So the fact that this guy bought a bunch of stuff and then expected something in return is not the point of an Amazon wish list. But secondly, it's also just really like he scammed her. Like he bought a bunch of shit and didn't give it to her and got all these images from her. And like for this page to like make fun of that and be like, oh, she look at that L. It's like she got scammed. And that is shitty. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how I can't really think of like an equivalent for my work for this, but I don't know. I guess it would I don't know. It's just I just think it's really scummy of whoever did that, and to laugh at it, I guess, is probably I'm guessing they're finding it funny because she's a sex worker. Because this page is not a fan of sex workers. Like a lot of insecure dudes aren't. Insecure dudes, they really don't like sex workers. Which is funny because it's like, you should like sex workers. Because they could provide you services that you might enjoy. But instead, you're too busy slut-shaming them. So, yeah. In fact, there was one, another one I found on a similar vein, and someone tweeted, whom I presume is like a sex worker or maybe a porn star from the way she talks about it. It's all get a real job until you've got nothing to jerk off to, lol. Wow, this blew up in the worst way. Y'all are insufferable, LMAO. Just wait until Google bans porn. Y'all are gonna look dumb as hell. And the responses to it were just like, oh, like slut shaming, but also being like, oh, porn doesn't actually provide, Google doesn't actually provide porn. I don't think she's literally saying that people get their porn through Google, but she's saying that it is like the easiest way to access it, right? Because like, I've heard that a lot of porn websites have weird website names, right? Like XX something not .gov, but you know what I mean? Like they're not necessarily as simple as like Pornhub.com. So, you know, it might be easier to just Google what you're into. To Google, I would like I don't know. I can't think of a thing, but you get my point, right? That's like the quickest. I think that's probably the quickest and maybe the most used way people get to their porn. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not saying that as fact, but I wouldn't be surprised if like 60, 70% of people who get their porn online go via Google or a search engine. So, yeah, I love that, you know, just, yeah, it's really just, what a great bunch of goys. Okay, and then here's another one. They reposted a title from an article. I'm 29 and never plan on buying a house. Here's how I spend instead. Okay, so maybe she just doesn't see it as a worthy investment. Don't really see how that's an L, but okay. Here's another one. I once dated a guy who, instead of just breaking up with me, was like, let's not talk for 6 weeks and see if we miss each other. And I liked him so much. I was like, okay, sure. 6 weeks passed and I was like, I missed you. And he said, yeah, I didn't. Breakup's still on. Be well. And then she said, I wish I could say I was young and stupid, but folks, I was 31. Well, that's just sad. That's, again, it's like, I guess you could say this is an L or whatever, if you want to frame it that crassly, but like, I don't know, it's just mean. I don't, okay, whatever. Another one. So this is an article from The Sun, so similar to the Daily Mail, and the title is, I spoke to a guy for a year before dating him. 2 weeks after we had sex, he left. And I guess the framing of that is that they spoke for a year and then when they had sex, he either thought the sex was bad or he got what he wanted and left. Now, I don't think it sounds like it is the latter, because why would you go through the effort of speaking to someone for a year if you just wanted to shag? So again, this is a confusing L. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe someone needs to explain it to me. I don't get what the L is. Well, I mean, I know the L is that he left, but like, okay. I don't know. It just seems, I don't know. This is, most of these don't seem like L's to me. Maybe, I don't know. Okay, here's another one. Can y'all believe me and this man were dating for 2 years, took trips together, was closing on a house, got matching tattoos, and he ghosted me, blocked me on all social medias, and now I'm finding out because he got married? Again! How is this an L for her? The guy is just a dick. Like, they were closing on a house. They took trips together. They got tattoos. That's not on her. It's like, I don't know. It's just bizarre to frame it as like, look at her, that L. And it's like, no, the guy is just, unless the L is the woman who's ended up marrying him, because she's losing out by marrying him. But I don't think it is. I think it's men don't make sense. Okay. So this is no, we got a few more actually. I was going to say this is the last one, but we got a couple more. So this is a tweet from someone saying, "My parents just told me they're choosing not to attend my wedding rather than be vaccinated." Again, that's not an L for her. That's her parents being scumbags. One, for not getting vaccinated. Not say, oh God, now people are going to be like, oh, you're saying I'm a scumbag so I don't want to get vaccinated. I can't get vaccinated because of X. Okay, I'm saying anyone who can but chooses not to. Okay? Maybe when someone makes a general statement, it's not specifically just about you. Honestly, that is the whole thing with the internet. Like, if you were to say as a general rule, hey, like, you should get vaccinated, and then someone's like, oh, well, you know what? I actually can't because I have like a weird vein and I can't. And it's like, okay, fine. Obviously, I'm not talking about you because you have health issues. It's not about you. Oh, God, sorry. I've had this so many times where like people just expect, like, if you're going to say something in like a short sentence, they expect you to encapsulate all nuance and all people in one like tweet. And it's just like, no. Oh, well, I can't do this because of X. And it's like, no one asked. So it's fine. And I guess it's a bit like, I don't know, it's just, yeah. Anyway. Basically, her parents should get vaccinated if they can. And the fact that they would rather not attend their child's wedding than get vaccinated shows that they don't value her and her day. That is really shitty and really petty, and she deserves better. So, okay, here's another one that is slut-shaming sex workers, because what else is new with insecure dudes? So this is a tweet from someone. They didn't block out her identity. Why is it so hard to find a decent partner in this day and age? 30 years and still not met my soulmate. And then beneath it is a tweet from her saying, onlyfans.com, it's the person. So they're posting this because they're saying, that's why she can't find a partner, because she's a sex worker. Well, she might be. OnlyFans, not all people on OnlyFans are sex workers, but even if she was, there are many sex workers who are in long-term relationships that are very happy. So it's just not true. And B, to imply that being a sex worker makes you less worthy of love is just disgusting. A disgusting thing to say. Go fuck yourself. It's not an L. And I hope she's earning bank, is what I have to say. And she will find someone. You know? And 30's not even old, you know? I understand that maybe she's got like friends who are settling down and stuff and she feels the pressure, but like, don't worry, you're good. You're good, my lady. Okay, so this is the last one. Okay, so the last tweet is this. I never learned to cook because my mom would always say, learn so you can cook for your husband. And just the thought of cooking for a man angered me. Now I'm 23 and starving, and it has 247k likes. And they posted this, like, oh, look at this L. And I think the unfortunate thing is that them posting this as an L is an L on their part. Women posting their Ls, as in that page, like, them posting this is an L. Because they don't understand that it's a fucking joke. She's not literally starving. Because if she was starving, she'd be dead. It's just like, do you not understand irony? Humor? Is that not a thing? No, of course not. Because you're an insecure dude. You're too insecure to appreciate humor and irony. Well, actually, no, they do have a sense of humor. Their humor is sex worker bad. Don't really get what the joke is there, but it's they find it funny, so I guess that's a joke of sorts. But yeah, so that is the main sort of gist of insecure guys on Twitter that I found lately. Quite tragic, really. And funnily enough, I just watched Sam Collins' new video yesterday. He made a video about a guy called, like... actually, you know what? Fuck him. I'm not going to name him. He's a guy who like has collabed with Mrs. Midwest, and he is so humorless and so just soulless. And he'll be like... He literally said in one of his videos, like, women cry so that men find them cute so they can protect them. Serial killer vibes. See, I told you Joe from You was real. No, except Joe from You is more charming than this guy. Yeah, he's like the pinnacle of just... insecure dudes. Like, he talks about feminist psychologists and how men don't need to like combat toxic masculinity and get in touch with their emotions because that's just something that feminist psychologists want them to do. And it's like, where are these feminist psychologists? Because I want one. But yeah, it just seems as if they will never go away. They never will. You know, I do wonder. I mean, I guess this is the thing with when I put out my video about Sigma males, you know, the guys who call themselves Sigma males because they're not alpha, but they don't want to admit that they're beta. They call themselves Sigma. And someone commented, like, this is astrology for insecure dudes. And it's like, it really is. Really is. These guys be making fun of astrology, but then do shit like this. Or they be making fun of, you know, saying there's 72 genders, and then they do this shit. The audacity, eh? The audacity. But yeah, I think that will wrap it up for today. This will be a slightly shorter episode, just because it is me, and yeah, I feel like I've talked a lot. I've chit-chatted, I've chin-wagged, enough for one day. I'm not going to say another word today. When I come home and I see Siggy at the door, I won't say what I usually say, which is, oh my god, I love you. I love you so much. I missed you. I miss you. How are you? Oh my god, hi. No, I will say all that. I have to. I love talking to her because, you know, she's the love of my life. But yeah, anyway. thank you for listening. I forgot to mention, I have been on a break all of October. I've been posting podcasts, but I've been on a break from making videos. As today is November 1st, I am officially back, baby, and I am working on my next video, which should hopefully be out in a couple of weeks. And I should be back on schedule. Thank you for your patience with me and being lovely. Just needed a break because I was really burned out. But no, I'm back and I'm excited to be back. So yeah, thank you so much. Lots of love and yeah, have fun. And hope you had a good Halloween and happy November. Okay, big snogs. If you enjoyed the podcast, rate and review on Apple or Spotify or whatever it is. And thank you. Thank you for listening. Okay, lots of love. See you later. Bye-bye. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.